Hello, welcome to LinguaLuz podcast, where I talk slow and clear so you can practice your comprehensive input. Today, we are going to talk about how to learn a language as an adult. We're going to talk about some tips, some ways to stay motivated, and the most natural way to learn a language. Let's get started. To learn a language as an adult is the same as a child. That is the most natural way. That is the best way for your brain. If you want to learn a language, you need lots of hours of listening and comprehension input. You need lots of hours of comprehensive input. As a child, you listen and watch your parents talk to each other and talk to you. For 1 year, maybe more, maybe less, you as a child just listened and watched. You received, you took in comprehensive input. Then, after 1 year or so, you start to talk. As a child, you start to talk, but not until you've already listened and watched for maybe 1,000 hours, give or take. Then you start to talk. Then for another year or 2 years, you continue watching and listening and talking. By the time you are 3 or 4 as a child, you can talk. You can have a conversation. You can talk to anyone. You might still make mistakes, but you have the ability to talk to anyone. As a child, when you reach this level, you haven't even read a book or learned any grammar, but you can already talk and communicate. As an adult, we seem to think we need to learn grammar right in the beginning, but that's not always, excuse me, that's not always the best way to learn a language. So first, you need to listen and take in a lot of hours of comprehensive input. Comprehensive input is when you can understand what you see and hear. So if you want to learn English, comprehensive input would be easy English. Start at your level, the beginner level. Then you go to intermediate, then to advanced, then to native. Learning a language can take a long time. I still, today, have learned words in English that I did not know before. And I was born in America. I speak English, but I still learn new words. Learning something is a continuous journey. If you want to learn how to play music, you never stop learning. You never stop learning. You, even when you get to the level that you want to be at, you create a new level to continue learning. And that is the path of learning a language. So first, you want to watch and listen for 1,000 hours or 600 hours, somewhere in that range. 600 hours, we'll say. Then you want to start talking. Try to talk. You can do crosstalk with a partner. If you find a partner, your partner will speak in English if you want to learn English, and you, no, your partner, yes, your partner will speak in English and you will speak in Spanish or whatever your language is. That is called crosstalk. That's the best way to start learning how to talk. First, have conversations and watch how people string words together. Do shadowing. Shadowing would be repeating what I say. When I say something, you repeat it right after me. Try to sound the same. That's called shadowing. That's one way to practice your speech, your pronunciation. Another thing that I did when I was learning Spanish is I put subtitles on everything I watched in Spanish. So if I watched a movie in English and they spoke in English, I would put the subtitles in Spanish so that I'm always practicing reading. You need to immerse yourself in the language you want to learn. If you want to learn a language in 1 year, you need to listen and watch and study for 3 hours a day, at least 3 hours a day. And in 1 year, you can be fluent. When I started learning Spanish, I had a video I watched about being bilingual on TED Talks. This video was 100% native and very hard to understand. I didn't understand pretty much any of it. But when I would need some motivation, I would go back to that video, and that video would help me see that my level is advancing. Because sometimes when you're learning a language, you get to a point in the middle where you don't really feel like you're learning. You can't gauge, you can't tell how much you've learned because it's not as easy to see from knowing nothing to the intermediate and then to advance. So a lot of times people get unmotivated. They lose motivation. So I suggest you have a benchmark. I think that would be the correct term, is called a benchmark. Something that you can always go back on to see how good you are doing. Something that can help you stay motivated to keep going. With learning a language, you also need to know what you want, what level you want. To be fluent, to say that you want to be fluent is open-ended. It's You need to be more specific. What is fluent? You want to be able to have a conversation with someone. You want to be able to travel. Do you want to be able to work in that environment where they use that language? You need to set your goal. What level? What is fluent for you, so that you know what you're reaching for? Being fluent is open for interpretation. What you think is fluent could be different from what I think or I consider fluent. I personally want to be able to express myself the same in both languages or any language that I learn. My goal is to be able to express myself and not have to think of other words or other ways to say what I want to say, what I want to express. So that's my goal in learning a language. I have been learning Spanish for a little more than 3 years. I am hard on myself, but I do believe I have a good level. Um, and I did it by watching videos and then starting to talk and then reading. And then I did look into some grammar, as I use the same method as I did to learn English as a child. So I hope this video helps. I hope you can get some comprehensive input from this video. I hope that some of these tips and tricks or whatever help. And yeah, I will see you next time.